guys, welcome back to our channel. So today we have a bit of a serious video. We're going to be talking about our experience, our first experience as parents to our first child, Elia.
Please, no tears today.
Yeah, try not to cry. We've been parents for about 5 years now. Our first child, first daughter is Elia. She's turning 5. She'll be 5 on the 20th of
Valentine's baby.
20th of February.
Yeah.
So, okay, Elia, I'll insert some clips here, but yeah, Elia was born on the 20th of February in 2020. I gave birth to her during lockdown, so instead of me like being outside interacting with like other moms, both of us were indoors.
The world is isolated.
Yeah, so we were kind of navigating life being strange in general at that time because of COVID and lockdown, and then having a brand new baby, not really having enough, outside sourcing for help, because you just had to isolate yourself from everyone. So we were just navigating being new parents. And how did you feel at the time, babe?
I feel happy that I have a child.
Yeah.
And whatever comes with it, God has blessed us as a family.
Mm-hmm.
And we roll with it. And the big child, Aliyah, she's the most beautiful girl.
Yeah, she was.
Beautiful baby.
Yeah.
She doesn't even look like I'm really give birth to that baby. It looks like...
what are you trying to say?
No, sorry, unfortunately, my wife is pretty, but if you know my daughter, my daughter looks...
I'll insert some clips of it.
She looks 10 times prettier than my wife.
Yeah, you're supposed to feel like that's your daughter.
It's my face, my real face love.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is the different kind of love, you know. That's my love, like, oh my God.
Yeah, so we gave birth to her. We're trying to navigate life, navigate having a newborn. After about a few months from then, obviously, you guys don't know yet because we haven't put that content out, but me and my husband both own a business together. He's been doing hair for much longer than me professionally, but we both do hair. And at that time we were also thinking about expanding our business, so we're trying to navigate how we would grow as a family in terms of just bettering our lives. So we both decided that the next step was to open a salon. At this point, Aaliyah's only a few months old. Probably when we found the salon, how old was Aaliyah? Probably a few months, maybe 6 months or so. Yeah, so she was still a baby, really. So we found out, again, I'll try whatever clips I can find, I'll insert it. So we found the place that we loved in Shoreditch, and we opened our first salon. We were so excited. It's like, oh yes, this is like our family progressing, going to the next stage. We've just had a newborn, and now
I got a job in a university.
Yeah, he had a job,
full-time job.
and then but this was like our, okay, we're going forward now. So we've got the space now, and here I am trying to navigate being a mom and now being a businesswoman, and it just wasn't easy for me. Obviously, from the outside, it looked like it was easy, or I feel like I made it look good, but it was hard for me. I'm the type of person that I'm like, no, I can do it. I'm just persevering. I feel like at the time as well, I didn't give myself enough time to actually process being a mom. I just had a baby, and I'm like, okay, cool, it's go time. Like, that's how my brain just works in general. I'm like, it's go time. I've had this baby. I'm not just gonna stay at home and do nothing. At the time, obviously, I also dropped out of uni, so I'm like, no, I have to do something with myself, and I've got this talent. My husband also knows how to do hair. We need to, push forward. So that was the only logical transition. Now got the shop, done a grand opening. I've got this new baby. Okay, cool. Now it's time to get customers. Obviously, we had our customer base already, but it is easier when you're working from home. You don't really have to rely on having that many clients. But when you have a shop, now you're thinking, okay, I need to pay the rent for the shop. I need to make a profit from having after I make my rent. So you're now thinking, okay, cool. What's the best way to get new customers? I'm trying to navigate that, but I never gave myself enough time to rest after I had my daughter. Enough time to actually, settle into the role of being a mum before I jumped into opening a new salon. So okay, I've opened a new salon now, and I have pressure on my shoulders. Well, obviously it's both of us, but because I normally do like the it's Instagram, Snapchat promotions, stuff like that for the shop. I'm feeling like, okay, cool. I'm feeling the pressure of bringing in new clients and meeting the rent every month and making profit and it making sense for our family, to where I'm not really paying enough attention to my baby. Because she's in the shop with me, and it's just like, okay, get baby ready, we need to go to the shop, working all day, not really paying attention to her needs. And obviously now in hindsight I can understand that I wasn't really paying attention to her. I could have paid more attention. I could have taken her to like mummy and baby classes. I didn't taken her to the park more, but because I was in the shop a lot, I didn't do those things.
It's your first baby. You were not experienced.
The people would tell me, oh, why didn't you take her to these classes and stuff? And I feel like maybe, obviously, when you're looking outwards in, you notice things. But when it's yourself, you don't notice things. So I feel like a lot of people that cared about me would, throw subtle, hints like, oh, you should take her hair, you should do this with her, you should do that with her. But obviously I'm so fixed on, no, I need to push the family and we need to do this, we need to do that, like financial wise, like paying attention to our finances more than just paying attention to the new baby that I've had. And so like I said, in hindsight I can see these things, but at the time I didn't. I just thought I was just doing what I thought was best for our family as a whole. Anyway, fast forward a few months later to where she was like 1. Aaliyah was walking fine when she was 1. She started saying a few things when she was 1 as well. And actually, let's backtrack. Aaliyah was vaccinated. She had all her vaccines from the hospital till about 1 year old. In the duration of her having her vaccines, from I would say a few months, maybe like 6 months, I realized some changes in her. So she was able to repeat things at times. She was able to, I remember distinctively, she always used to like to do this peekaboo, peekaboo, like she would copy you when you do those type of things. And then at some point, dada. She'll say mama, she'll say dada, and then at some point she just stopped, a hard stop, and wasn't progressing anymore. And I just realized, like, after some of her vaccines, I saw that shift. So I stopped her from taking her last few, I think she missed 3 sets of her last vaccines. And don't quote me on that because I don't remember how many, but she missed a few of her last vaccines. And that was because I saw the difference in her behavior and the things that she would interact with me, she just stopped doing. So yeah, she turned 1, she was walking fine, but again, her progression was on a steady decline. And I realized it. She stopped kind of making eye contact with me. She wouldn't answer her name as much, maybe sometimes, but really she didn't really answer her name. And I was like, what is going on? Like, this is very strange. And then she just stopped talking, like completely, stopped saying anything. And I was just like, not really paying enough attention to it. Again, because I was so busy, really. Even though I did notice the signs, because again, it's my first child, I didn't really make a big deal out of it. I was like, maybe that's just her, she's not in the mood to talk anymore. When she turned 2, or just before she turned 2, a few months before she turned 2, is when things really went downhill. So I know this is a lot for YouTube, but I'm going to put it out there because I just feel like I don't hear enough of this online. A few months before she turned 2, I was pregnant, right? And with my second born. And I always say that, honestly, if she would have started this behavior earlier, I probably wouldn't have gone through with my second pregnancy, because it wasn't easy for me at all. I know it sounds like a lot on you saying that on YouTube, but it's just the truth. It was just, I went through hell. She started playing with her poo and rubbing it everywhere. Like, she would rub it everywhere, and it wasn't just once or twice, it was all the time. She would, this isn't her going through a lot, but just seeing her do that, and just look, as a parent looking at her, like, she used to flap her hands a lot. She'll do this. I'll insert clips because he has some of them recorded. She'll do this a lot for no reason, and like, I just used to be like, oh my god, like what is this? She wouldn't answer her name. There was no eye contact. She would hum a lot. She'd be like and then she would be like rocking back and forth. She used to do, there would be times where Aaliyah would be humming from literally the second we would end, like, because our daily routine was wake up, go to the shop, you know, and then obviously finish up from the shop and go home. And I kid you not, there were times where Aaliyah would be humming from the second she woke up till the end of the day. She would be humming the whole day. And so I went through that with her. Sometimes she would run into the road and it would be like, Aaliyah, stop. And that, I don't know if that's what a lot of kids would do, but it would just be random. You know, it's like she had no sense of danger at all. What else would you say you struggled with?
I just feel like pool playing this and that. Like, kids are always gonna be kids.
Okay.
Because I grew up differently, because I grew up from a different background, and we're not. I did grow up not labeling kids, so I just feel like Ali is just a different kind of child, which that she is. She wants to do things that she wants to do when she wants to do them, and how she wants to do them, and even to fast forward the whole life, that like right now Ali is still very practical, so she just learned little things from by herself, or she decided to do certain things because she wants to do it.
So when she was doing these outlandish things in your head, you just
I just
thought it was
like it's just a baby.
Yeah, you just
kids
thought it was
like if you don't change your child on time, it's gonna.
But it wasn't
on the pool. They're gonna
she would
feel
do
like
it like straight away.
She wanted to show you that she's pool, because she's practical. That's how I think about it, and logically in my brain.
Okay.
Like, if she wanted to show you that she wanted to change herself. That's how I feel.
Okay. She would put the poo in her hair.
She wanted to rub it off.
No.
My baby just want to clean.
Okay,
she's a clean baby.
I thought, with all of these signs that she was showing, I'm seeing signs of autism, and he's seeing signs of a normal child. Yeah, like a normal stubborn child. And even this dynamic is, I feel like, very common, especially when you're dealing with, like, you saw it kind of in the video before this, that dynamic between a British person versus an African person. There's always that dynamic of perspective, yeah, because you're looking at a different lens than I am. But anyway, I'm seeing signs of autism. I'm panicking at this point. I'm pregnant. I'm about to have another baby, and my daughter I'm going through it, because obviously my husband is always there for me. He really is a great dad. I can never take that from him. But at the same time, when you're having children, most of the heavy lifting is going to be on mum. And so I'm going through it at this time. I'm like, my God, like, what is going on? What is this? And where I have a lot of younger siblings, I'm the oldest of 5. I never saw this with my younger brothers. So I'm like, what the hell? I remember there was a specific incident where, and I can never get this out of my head, and I don't even want to get emotional talking about it, but there was a time where I asked Aaliyah to get something off the floor. She dropped something on the floor, and I asked her to pick it up, and I just thought she was being stubborn at the time. She wasn't in at this point, but anyway, I just kept like telling her, pick it up. Like, I'm trying to be a stern parent, telling her, pick it up, like, why are you not listening to me? And she's just staring right dead in my eyes, like, and I've held her hand, I'm like, pick it up, pick it off the floor. And at that point, I realized that she wasn't being stubborn. She just didn't understand what I was saying. And I don't know why that made me so emotional, but it just made, I feel like at that was the time that I came to the realization that, oh my God, she doesn't understand me. Like she does need extra help, you know. And I went through stages where I didn't even want to go to family members' houses because she was very erratic. Like she would, you know, she wants to play with everything. She wants to touch everything. I know that sounds like what kids do, but it was like she wants to spoil things almost. She wants to touch everything. She wants to do this, and I'm nervous, thinking, oh my God, is she gonna play with her poo when we're there? I'm like, and obviously we're both from African backgrounds, and Africans can be very blunt and very
Rude.
yeah, like just not understanding people's emotions. So they would say certain things, and I didn't want to take her anywhere because of it. Felt feeling a little bit embarrassed.
Everyone struggle with that one. So I'm that person that won't really care too tough. And if you have your perspective, you can, or your opinion, you can say it to me.
And it's like sometimes family members won't even, they're not even coming from a horrible place, but just because you're very emotional about the situation, you will take it in that way. You know, most of the time family is actually coming from a good place, but your emotions will take over your logic, especially when you're dealing with your child, you know. So
I get that, but some family members, obviously, especially African families, they don't. In general, they have no filter when it comes to kids, because that's very sensitive. Sensitive things to actually involve yourself in. If the child is being naughty, you know, how we African, we take it very like, oh yeah, the upbringing and stuff like that.
Yeah, feeling a bit embarrassed, not wanting people to judge me as a mother just because I was young when I had her, and so I didn't really feel comfortable taking her to people's houses.
When you had her?
I was 21 when I had her. Obviously, that isn't the youngest to have a child, but in the grand scheme of things, it is a young age. Aaliyah turns 2 in a few months. I have a whole new newborn baby, which is Avina, and she's had her official diagnosis from a pediatrician. How we got to even her getting her diagnosis, I was hounding. And when I say hounding, I was hounding them with emails, calls. I went back and forth with so many different people just to get that first appointment, explaining all my struggles, like what I was going through mentally and all of that. Got her first appointment. They say that they believe that she could be autistic. Obviously, when you're going through the diagnosis of autism, you have to have 3 appointments. So not only one appointment can confirm that she's autistic, you have to go through 3 pediatricians before they give you the official diagnosis of autism. The first pediatrician says they see signs of autism in her, and they are basically agreeing with me that what I'm seeing isn't just me, right? When we had her first diagnosis, what did you think? What was going through your head at the time?
Just go on the flow.
Just going with the flow. I don't think he accepted that whatever the pediatrician said.
I just feel my daughter's fine, and a lot of people, especially in England, label kids so quick because they have certain things they see. Obviously, yes, they see them, and I feel like every child development is different, and then sometimes you just need to give it time to actually develop. And I feel like every child that you have are different in the sense that some child they're very practical, and some child they learn by talking, interacting, and what I've come to conclusion is that she is very practical. She interacts properly now.
She's very athletic.
She's very practical. That's the word. She makes, when I pick her from school every day now, she'll give me gifts, give me bags. She makes bags, like she makes bags like
very creative.
Like from baby for like 2 years, I've watched Aaliyah that she will wear a jacket as a bottom part. Like she wear it as a trouser.
Babe, that's not.
No, wait. But obviously, you are thinking you're you're going to that being down about it.
Yeah,
but I'm
thinking
thinking about
smart.
I'm thinking about my
outside the
baby.
box.
Like my baby's a genius in the sense that the way she does stuff. You looking at it in that perspective, bro. I'm looking at it as a genius. I'm looking at it like, okay, this baby is different. It's smart. You just need to think differently and study her properly for her, knowing that okay, she wants to do this. This is what she likes. This is what she doesn't like. What we do is like use like programs on like Cocomelon. Like Cocomelon is such a bad program that makes kids not to talk because all they do or they just sing.
Yeah.
They sing and it's not interaction and there's not a lot of people to speak it to while listening for the older. You should pick her up, play with her, oh baby, but there's not any structure because as parents we don't even know that much. We're still learning how to. It's not intentional, like you don't know. It's until you start observing stuff. That's what's okay. It's the program. And ever since you changed the Cocomelon to Miss Rachel that talk, hi darling, and they talk like they're dopey. Hello darling, today do you want to do this? Like you have to speak like kids. Like you don't learn certain things, especially when you never have a child. So I just feel like when you have a child, you need to study them, and on the other end, apart from studying them, you grow with your child by learning yourself. Do you understand what I'm saying? But the biggest problem is England is the vaccine as well. The vaccines or all these things, the chemicals in even food, that makes the kids go down the drain in the sense that like all the things we eat is processed. Even fruit, we think, oh yeah, you're giving a child fruit. Yeah, I grew up in Africa. The food I eat, yeah, they're very organic, and that's why we barely sick. But if you are born here by the age of 5, you already go in dentist. You have toothache because all these chemicals you eat, all this rubbish you eat, because like it's not organic.
It's very heavily processed, and it does affect some children or some people will not be affected by it. It's like with anything, like some people can smoke their whole life and they will never get lung cancer or whatever, different. And some people will smoke a few months, you've got lung cancer, because everything affects people's bodies differently.
For example, like we give the baby from younger, like, and baby food, processed baby food, yeah, and those most of these baby food have like metal inside, and those metals is probably contradicting with the vaccines they give the baby from young, which reacts differently, maybe slow down the immune system and stuff like that. And that's when you start making researches and look at, okay, what are you feeding your baby in terms of visuals, in terms of communication and food. That is why we actually end up looking at, and that works, and it makes a big difference with Aliyah. It's not about, I understand as a woman you get emotional, but what is the solution? What is the next level? What's the next thing to do?
We both sat down and was like, okay, cool, how are we going to go forward with this child? We've got a child that is labelled autistic at this point, and it's like, okay, what's the way forward? I went into full mummy mode when I realised I've gone and done extensive research to the point where I'm watching podcasts from morning till night like about vaccines, autism, how children are affected by food, how they're affected by what they watch, how they affect so many things. I'm sitting down watching these things over and over. That led me to not even vaccinating my second child at all. She doesn't have one vaccination. And I just started sitting down and thinking, even he has not one vaccination. He's fine, he's fit as a fiddle. What happened before people had vaccinations? Now, obviously, this isn't I'm not giving anyone health advice. Obviously, speak to professionals and do your own research. This is what I came to the conclusion, me and him came to the conclusion of, and it works for us. My second child isn't vaccinated at all. There's nothing wrong with her. She didn't die. She's still alive. She's fine.
Even the baby, they wanted to give her vitamin C.
Vitamin K injections. I done my own research as to why they give them vitamin K injections, and I found my own alternative to that. And my children are fine. My own advice is to you guys, I'm not telling you what to do with your children, and I'm not giving you professional advice because I'm not a professional. I've just done my own research, and and this is my own experience. But what I can say to you is, every mum, when you have a child, you are not obliged to do anything that health professionals tell you to do. Do your own research. You do have autonomy over your own children. They're yours at the end of the day. They're not the government's. So try and do your research about everything that you're putting in your child. Before I vaccinated Aaliyah, I didn't know what they were putting in her. I didn't know why they were putting it in her. I just knew that they told me that this is what you do, and so it's what everyone does, so why not? Let's do it. Do you know what I mean? So, and at the time I thought that I was doing something that was good for her. And even though there isn't a direct correlation between vaccines and autism, or vaccines and whatever she was struggling with, upon me doing my research and actually physically studying the situation, I physically saw the difference that it had on her. It wasn't a coincidence. I saw it. You know what I mean? So again, as a parent, do your research. Do not just put things in your children before you actually know what this is. Some people will opt to have some vaccinations and opt to have not the other ones. So just do your research on everything that you put in your child, whether it be, like you said, visual, what they're watching, what they're putting in their food, what are you giving your children to digest in their system every day.
Another point is and I believe is more difficult for and the woman that is probably like a single mom, because you might have a hard, on the other hand, it's still very easy for you because you have a partner to lean on, to even fight. That's the bottom line. To be like,
able to get
boxing me, like, I've gone through this, you don't talk to me, you still have someone to fight, to get this stress out or put the stress on, because as a mom, I just feel like it takes a lot of patience, and it takes a lot of belief that, okay, my child is going to be okay, it's going to grow, it's going to develop, it's going to get better, and that's very important to understand. And I just urge you as a mom, just try your best to calm down, because your mind is going 1 million miles per hour. It's crazy. The way sometimes I go home and she's soaked in tears, fam. I say, what's going on? Is that what you're doing that for?
Aaliyah did this today. You don't understand what, you know what? You don't even get it.
I tell her, shut up, man. You know?
No, you did not.
Babe, I'll tell her.
He would console me.
In a sense, in my mind, I'll be like, shut up.
Is that what you're thinking?
Of course. I'll be like, you know why I say shut up in my mind? In the sense that my child is okay, she'll be okay. I believe I'm not disabled.
Do you know what? We used to go through it, honestly. Like, I feel like he used to get offended a lot because he's like,
like,
stop talking, stop saying those stuff to my child. Like, I'm like, but it's my child as well.
Yeah, so prophesizing something that is not going to happen. And looking now, the devil's ashamed. The baby talks.
Yeah.
And a lot of people they're shocked when they see Aaliyah talk. And then she tells you off.
Yeah.
She tells you off and tell you that even now Aaliyah sing, she dance, my daughter actually dance better than her mom. Her mom can't dance to save her life.
Okay.
Which is true. American do, she can dance, she only shake her bum like small. That's true. But my daughters, they dance. She's practical, she's smart, and it's just life. But imagine like you don't have patience and you need to, like, you don't look after your mental health. The time that like when you look after yourself as a woman, as a parent, and then you can help the child better. You can make money and take them to activities. Like I didn't have activities like swimming, and she loves it. She got a few activities. She got like few things like gymnastics and stuff that she does. Like all the energy in her, like we put into something for her. I take them to the park. We do like her best thing is holiday. She want holiday. You need to go to school. You can't believe in stuff like. And she love fashion. She love like bright clothes, pink. She's very girly. She love bags. Like she loves to do things like every other child. Do you understand? But at the end of the day now, don't kill yourself before the death comes, because your child is a blessing.
When I'm going through it with her, I said before that a lot of the heavy lifting is on mum because you're mum, but at the same time I couldn't have gone through that period without Shegun. Like it was like any time that I'm down, he's like, what's wrong with you? She's fine. Pick yourself up, take care of the child, let's keep moving. Do you know what I mean? And I was like, a lot of the time, like you said, I look back and be like, I don't know how I would have done this if I was by myself. Obviously, people do go through it by themselves and they get through it, but it's like, it was such a difficult process for me. There were times where I just felt like I couldn't go on. Like, it's something that I didn't see enough. Maybe I wasn't looking for it online, but I didn't see enough of this online. Like, I was to the point where I was at my breaking point. I would go home every single day crying. And obviously he's the type that would dismiss it, like, no, she's fine, stop saying it. And I knew at some point I was offending him, you know, because he felt like I was cussing him almost. that's the energy I was getting. Obviously, yes, he was there for me and he would console me, but I just knew at some point it was getting daunting on him, and I felt like it was daunting on our marriage. So sometimes I would even, you know, seek outside counsel, because my mum was the same. She's like, stop talking about my grandchild like that. Like, they felt like I was violating them. My brother the same. Like, they didn't want to hear these things.
The brother's
He's even worse. He's like, stop saying that to her. Stop, like,
chatting, because that's the new saying. So he takes it, he can fucking.
I feel like everyone was getting very taking
crazy.
it as a personal attack rather than them seeing things through my lens. I was trying to seek outside counsel because of this, and I remember, this goes to the spiritual side of things. I remember speaking to someone, one of my clients, like, that's a very close friend of ours, and I remember. Shout out to the clients, because it's because all the clients, shout out to people like Lara and stuff like that. They always there, Mariah, Lara, and who else again? A few people. There's a few people. If I didn't mention you, please don't be offended. I love you guys so much. There's some certain clients that, again, the same way Shegun was there for me, if my clients weren't there for me.
What's the name of that neighbor?
Who?
Rhea.
Oh my god, another
Rhea.
one. Like, there's people that were really, you know, there for us, saying, no, she's fine, don't worry, this is what I did, this is look at this thing, this, that. Okay, so there's a specific client that was like to me, you know what, listen, your child is going through all of this, you're crying every day, you don't even want to speak to your family about this. You know what you need to do? Go take a cup of water, pray over the water and give it to your daughter. Do it for a week. Keep praying over your daughter, praying over what you want for her, how you want her life to progress, how you want to see your child. And obviously, not everybody is spiritual, so they won't understand where I'm coming from. But even, let's take away from prayer, just manifesting. What you say out of your mouth holds weight. Everything that I've wished for, let's not even say prayed for, everything that I've said out of my mouth, I want this, it happens, because there's power in your tongue, and there is. So I just remember this client saying, look, you want your child to be this way. Every day, wake up and speak it into existence. Don't just be crying and saying the negative. Say positive. Say, oh, my child will be this. I want my child to do this. God, do this for me. For me, I'm spiritual. I'm speaking directly to God. Obviously, this is not to say that parents with disabled children or children with difficulties are not praying enough, because it's only by the grace, you know, that you are healed. Just believe and speak positive things into your children and work towards it. But that day, she told me, pray on that water and give it to this child and keep doing it for 7 days. That was the day I decided that, you know what, I'm not crying about my child anymore. I'm going to speak positive into her life. I'm going to take positive steps. That was the time where I decided, okay, I'm going to put Aaliyah in speech and language. Okay, I'm going to put Aaliyah in swimming. I'm going to put Aaliyah in gymnastics. I'm going to play on things that were positive for her. And I saw a dramatic difference in my child.
Change the program that she was.
I changed what she was watching. I changed the things that I was giving to her. I wasn't buying her chicken and chips all the time. I wasn't, you know what I mean? Like, because I'm outside, I'm just finding the quickest, fastest food to give to her. I started, you know, being intentional about what I put in her, in her body. And I saw a dramatic difference. I remember sitting down on that water. I want to say that specifically. I remember sitting down that day and crying, like, on that water. And I was just like, God, this is a gift that you gave to me. I'm gonna cry. I said I wasn't gonna cry.
You cry. Cry inside. Cry. You know, when you cry, it helps it release your nerves. You want to
hate
cry?
crying.
You want to cry? Okay. Use your hair to do that. Yeah, good. My heart is different. We don't cry. No crying in this house. Because anything crying, cost of living has taken it away. Why are you laughing? It's not funny.
I'm trying not to cry.
Sorry guys. I'm supposed to console my wife. Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
You wanna cry more?
No, I hate crying.
Cry is good to cry.
It
softens your medullas.
Okay, cool. I just remember praying to God like this is a gift that you've given me. This child is a gift. She's so beautiful. She's everything I could have dreamed of. Like, I've given birth to this beautiful baby. Don't make this gift turn into a curse for me. And I remember just crying on that water that night because of this client, and I just kept giving her that water every night. I would go home after work, pray on the water and give it to her in the morning. And I just believe that the angels heard what I was talking about. God heard what I wanted, and whatever you want to call it, the universe, manifestation, whatever, I believe that after that 7-night period and me giving her that water, everything changed. My mindset changed. Maybe it was me. Maybe it was a change in me. Maybe it wasn't even her. It was a change in me and my mindset and how I was going forward with her.
Find a peace, and you'll find peace because sometimes I've told you the baby is fine. The baby is developing in our own time, in our own pace, and you are a grown adult. Yeah, and sometimes, like even medically, they look at genetics when it comes to baby development. And there's some people that dad are developed in a certain way, mom as well developed in a certain way. Shout out to Amri's dad, and there's one person that made Amri realize that, you know how long it took you to talk yourself? It took you 5 years. So my daughter even do better than you. Because my daughter spoke at 4 years and she's doing stuff at 4. So he said, if you don't know what you put us through as a child, that you're very clumsy. Even when I got married to Amri, I'm really still very clumsy.
Yeah.
Till now.
I am.
So it's just that now that the dad will tell her that you should be the person to worry about that child. It's your worse. So and as me, I was stubborn.
Yeah.
I don't listen.
So imagine she took all the worst traits from both of us.
Imagine now the dad is very stubborn that used to be other people's kids. Like used to be the person that don't eat in the morning. Thank God my child even ate. Because I don't eat breakfast. I don't eat certain food. I'm like even now, I'm very forceful with food. So now, now you have a child now. She's picking up 1 or 2 things from your DNA. Like relax your brain. Like it's not the child is not coming from a scientific laboratory. It's coming from you as a partner, as a couple. See, for example, SS and SS, your child is got potential of being a sickle cell, and you see the child's been sick. Like you've actually bring this child. Unfortunately, the child is not the child's fault. You understand? Like we have a little bit of when it comes to development, like it's traits in us that you have your own, I have my own. The baby decided to choose pick from it.
The major changes that we made in her is what I mentioned before. So we try to be more proactive with what she watches, what she's eating, putting her in extracurricular activities. The extracurricular activities helped with the hyperactiveness and her wanting to play with everything and touch everything. She channeled that energy into the sports that she was doing and stuff like that. So obviously even with just down to like fizzy drinks and stuff like that, I didn't really give her those type of things anymore. So we saw a difference. Giving her more water and stuff like that. And we did see a huge difference. Now, Elia didn't say her first word till she was 4.
Just before 4, not 4.
She was like 3 and a few. She was like literally almost 4. So that's when she said her first word. And obviously, when she said her first word, how did you feel?
I'm not surprised. I'm only surprised when she get things done.
Okay.
I'm got gas like, oh, that's what my daughter done. But I'm just excited. I'm proud that oh yeah, my daughter's done this and that. But I knew like she I all this time I just believe like she's a baby. She's a two. Okay, she's gonna talk.
When I first heard Aaliyah talk, my heart was like, oh my god, because I always was like, I feel like autistic parents, or parents that are dealing with children that have, you know, additional needs, and you can't hear them speak, that's a very huge thing. Because when I speak to other parents that are going through it, they're like, oh, that thing is the biggest thing, because it's like, to someone that has children that just talk, they don't understand, they will not understand when a child doesn't talk, because it's an everyday interaction. It's such a big deal, like a child not speaking. So when she did speak, my whole heart, I can't even describe how it felt, because it's like that whole time I wanted to know, what is your personality like? What do you sound like? What is your voice gonna sound like? Like, I just want to know, like, what are you, sassy? Are you rude? Are you nice, polite? And I just don't know. So when she first said her first words, I'm like, oh my god, thank you. Finally.
What was that first word?
She started saying dad, I think. It's daddy. Yeah, it was daddy. She started saying first, and then progressively my mama, and then mummy, and like she was just, you know, I was like, oh, finally, like, I'm gonna know what she's like. I'm gonna, you know, it was such an exciting time for me. This is another thing, it's like, parents should be patient. Be patient with your children. Yes. Some kids are gonna develop, like he said, they're gonna take longer to develop. Now, fast forward to 4, she's had a second assessment. I've gone to the pediatrician, and the second pediatrician, her diagnosis was that she doesn't believe that she's autistic. She believes that she's got learning difficulties, right? So I was like, okay, right. So the first one said autism, the second one is saying learning difficulties. She said by her assessment, she doesn't see any traits of autism. She sees learning difficulties, right? Now, when she said that, I agreed with her fully, because everything that I was going through when she was younger completely stopped. Aaliyah keeps eye contact with me. She has no problem with going to the toilet. She goes to the toilet by herself. She doesn't even mess it up. She eats fine. She walks fine. She's talking relatively well.
No flapping and
there's no flapping of hands. Humming. There's no humming. There's none of that. So all the signs that I was seeing of autism have hard stopped completely, right? Now what the traits that I'm seeing of her, that is I'm still seeing difficulties with her, but it's completely different. Now what we're dealing with is, for instance, Aaliyah says some of her words backwards, so, or she would remix, like give things her own word. She would make up a word for something, and that's her own word for that. And as our parents,
she say
Carla.
Carla.
Yeah.
Water.
Now she says water.
No,
so it's changed.
Water.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. So it's like
water,
she used to make up her own words, and that's we just must know that that's what she means. But I always was like adamant, no, it's not Carla, it's water.
But she still, you know,
and she will still say
Carla,
and
please.
she just won't change.
And now she says water.
So, but she still says some things.
You see where the stubbornness coming?
She still, right. So, but she still says some certain things backwards. Like instead of saying school, she says schools or something like that. Yeah. She says things backwards or jumbles words. So that gives into the learning difficulties that they're talking about it. She is a little bit, she'll wake up sometimes like, no, daddy, no cruise today. No cruise today, we're not going to cruise.
That's it, no cruise today.
Right, so that kind of gives into the learning difficulties. She says certain things backwards, like I said. And then in school itself, sometimes she has difficulties with, you know, where she's a little bit behind from her peers, in terms of, like, you know, some of her peers are writing their names and stuff. Aaliyah kind of struggles with that, with writing her name. She will attempt to, but won't do it clearly. So she is a little bit behind in her class.
But she knows her books. She don't read her books.
Yeah.
She loves books.
Yeah. So, and also I was very you know, I was very sure she wasn't going to go to a normal school when I was going through it in the thick of it. I was so sure she wasn't going to go to a normal school. But Aaliyah did end up going to a normal school as well. She's in a mainstream school. She does have additional help in school, but it's not like she needed to be in a special needs school. Yeah, so I'm really happy about that.
Some people are book savvy and some people are practical. Aaliyah's like, she loves certain things like fashion, painting, art, what she likes doing. Like, and you can implement that and look, okay, this is what she likes doing. I will help her in that aspect to develop. As for Aaliyah, I'm happy that now you can see her from different perspectives.
What advice would you give to parents, would you say, that are going through a child with some difficulties?
I would say, look after yourself before you look after anybody. As a parent, you have to look after yourself first, because when your mental health is in the right, your mind is in the right place, you'll be able to help that child. But if you're going through like relationship problem, family problem, finances problem, and how you actually gonna help your child, because the things that you're supposed to, okay, now for example, I work full time, she works, like I can be like, okay, stay at home, do the domestic stuff, I go deal with the client, I still go to my work. The little we make will come together as a partner, as a family, we work hand in hand and, you know, get things done. But when you're going through something just by yourself and you're financially you're stressing about that, oh, this one you're stressing, that one you're stressing, your brain, you're not a robot. That's why I said
not everyone has the luxury of that.
That's what I'm saying. So, but if the little you can sort out as a parent, yeah, you don't have to put on designer. You don't have to be expensive. There's a little part there. There's little things. There's little activities you do for yourself. Like little holidays. Like I book like a few resorts we go with just to release this stress. Just look after yourself. Then
just look after your mental health.
Yeah, that's the bottom. Look after your mental health.
Yeah,
that's the first thing. Then you'll be able to look, okay, what does my child need? And another thing is, there's nothing in this world that does not have a solution. Even if it's no solution to cure it, yeah, there's a solution to make it better.
Yeah.
And there's always a way.
Or make it more livable.
Livable. Yeah. There's always something you can apply for, steps you can take. All you need to do, go out there, make research, speak to the right people. Because a lot of people, they're so embarrassed, they're so ashamed that they don't want to share how they feel. And this is where you go wrong. There's no shame in it. Well, you just need to know the people you need to speak to, not every random person. Speak out, don't keep it in. If you're stressed, talk to somebody about it. Talk to a professional. Kids in general, no matter how conditioned, even if it's a severe autistic, for example, that child might love activities. If you lock yourself in the room with toys and activities, a program, and you play, you jump on trampoline, do math, the baby will do the same. Their baby.
And you'll find joy in it.
There's nothing like angry baby.
It's not easy.
If you create time, and how do you create time? It's because you're in the right mindset, and that's what you can able to create that avenue, that space for the child. You know what I mean? And another thing is, you have to always have faith and be prayerful. You understand there's a lot of forces, there's a lot of bad eye, people with bad mindset, a family, generational, whatever. So you just have to pray. So what do you think? What can you say?
Like I said before, be patient. You don't know how your child will develop. Of course, at the time when Aaliyah was going through it, I never would have ever dreamed Aaliyah would be able to progress to what she is now. Like I said before, I had already made up my mind that Aaliyah was going to go to a special school. I was going to have to deal with this type of, this child and her these difficulties forever. I had already programmed myself to, buck up and, okay, this is what I'm dealing with. It's not what I thought it would be at all. So like I said before, just be patient. You don't know how they're going to develop. You don't know how they're going to progress. Be patient. Another thing is, like
Doctor
I said
is not God, though.
Yes, exactly.
These specialists, they're not God.
That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm about to say.
They're just talking from what they teach them.
Be very intentional with what you put in your children's body. Vaccines, research about it before you give them. Food, don't just put anything in your child's body. What they're watching, be very intentional with what they watch. I sometimes, now that I've given myself that time to, you know, pay attention to my children, there's certain programs that I watch, I'm like, I don't want my kids learning this. Why are they watching this? Why is the TV telling them that dad can get pregnant? Also, don't be so hard on yourself, especially if it's your first child. You know, you're still navigating. It doesn't matter what age. I said I was young when I had my first child, yes, but at the same time, it doesn't matter what age you have a child. As long as it's your first, it's a new thing to you, whether you're 20, 16 or 50. It's a new experience that you're experiencing. So that first child, you're not going to get everything right, especially when you're trying to, you know, navigate life with having that child. So don't be hard on yourself. Just do the best that you can. And seek help where you can seek help. Make sure you're outsourcing help, because you can't do it yourself. Africans always say it takes a village to raise a child. You know what I mean? It actually takes, it's not one person. There's a reason why there's that phrase. One person cannot raise a child. You need help. When I was going through it, I was denying help. My mum wanted to help me, and I'm like, no, I want to do it myself. I can do it myself. Thinking I'm Superwoman. Even no matter how hard, how strong you are, it will take a toll on you. And if it doesn't, it will take a toll on the child. You know. So outsource help, and be optimistic.
Drink water.
Yeah.
Have some salt and lemon.
I think that's the end of the video. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like, comment and subscribe. Keep supporting us. We're going to upload again as much as we can. But yeah, thank you for the love that we got on our first video and second video.
And if you're going through this, don't worry, we're in this together.
I know. You're not alone.
You're not alone, we're family. And if you want to speak to us about experiencing things that are problems and little things and support.
Yeah, what type of I think I'll link down below some things that helped us.
And if you wanted to see Ali herself with the way she behaves now, Ali is a diva. She is the boss.
I'm gonna put some videos, any videos that I can find.
Positive. I was 30. No, positive.
Okay, brush your teeth. Thank you guys for watching. And yeah, I'll link all of our socials down below as well. And yeah, bye guys.
Thank you.
I'm trying to say, I don't even know if I should do, or is it peace or what was I doing?
Which one? This one?
Bye guys.